CYXWVUTSRQPONM.
You gotta be extra like that. You can just say ABC.
I'm sorry that we're not all as talented as me and well trained. Oh, proceed.
Proceed with what?
Your
Saying
alphabet
the
backwards.
alphabet backwards.
Oh, that just meant talent in general.
No, I'm the
No.
police officer pulling you over, and I think you're drinking and driving. Tell me your ABCs backwards.
First
Sir,
of all,
I can't read.
officer, even when I'm sober.
And that would be the correct answer.
I
But
could
but
never.
except for the part you said, even when I'm sober, because he's like, what do you mean you're not sober right now?
Even while I'm currently sober, I could not tell.
Even while I'm currently sober.
Wait, because that's what I would say to a cop. I'd be like, even sober, I can't.
Yeah, but when you say even sober, it
they
implies
got you.
that.
And I'd be
yeah.
like, wow, you really need to make your check this week or something.
And then you'd be like, a cab, and then you pull off.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not what I would
Be
do.
like,
What
I've
I would
never been
actually
able
do
to
is
do
have my
ABCs
hands
backwards.
on the wheel and do everything the officer tells me to do.
Even my teacher in school tried to help me. I couldn't do it backwards, officer. Pick another one.
I learned how to say my ABCs backwards for a cute boy.
I remember this story.
Because I'm a sucker.
Sucking that water down.
Okay.
Sucker.
Anyway, you're listening to Postcard Depression, where we discuss this week's current hyperfixation. My name's Mariah, and my fun fact is that I have detached earlobes.
All right.
That just makes me want to say that I have attached earlobes.
And you would have died during the Holocaust.
I know. My teacher
Wait,
walked up to me and said that. He said you wouldn't make it.
All right.
Well, no, I don't know if that's actually right, because that's a recessive gene.
I know.
And he saved people with recessive genes because he was trying to make like a unique race.
That's just what my teacher said.
You would have
Nobody's
died
right
either
or
way because you were gay, so.
I don't think that's a Jewish college.
No, but he died people.
I do know a Jewish gay
he
woman.
died people.
He killed people that were gay, black, like anything that was not the like norm, which was blonde hair, white, and blue eyes, and straight.
Well,
That
my name
is so
Kaylin.
fucking ridiculous.
So he would have put you in the concentration camp, and you would have a little triangle saying, "I'm gay."
Why not a rainbow?
gay.
I'm gay.
Anyway, go on.
My name is Kaylin, and my fun fact this week is I quit my 9 to 5. So if y'all could give this a like, listen, help support us, that'd be
She
greatly
left me alone.
appreciated.
My name's Kinsey, and my fun fact is that I got Raiden Shogun in Genshin, as well as another one. So now I have a Constellation 1 or C1 Raiden Shogun, and we are about to get that third Raiden Shogun to have a C2.
Honestly, Genshin's been like blessing you the last couple banners. They've been good characters.
She spends a lot of money.
Yeah, so you can go
Fuck
ahead and
you.
like and subscribe to
Instead of
support Kinsey's Genshin addiction.
Please. Oh, what's
We
this
all
button?
need money for different
It
reasons.
just turns up the volume, the audio,
Jeez, I didn't mean to
We're
do that.
humble.
Yeah, but on the next banner is Zhao
and
and
all.
Altheim, or however the fuck his name is. And those
Edward
are both
Allen.
amazing characters. I have to have both. But honestly, if I usually just get one character, I don't spend that much money. I don't really spend any money on wishes because I just grind for the wishes and I end up getting them. You know?
Yes.
But obviously, I told you guys for months that when the Raiden Shogun banner dropped, I was going to spend and drop money.
That is true. So, also, it is New Year's. We're an episode behind. So, why don't we all share a New Year's resolution that we are committing ourselves to this year?
I will
Don't
start.
look at me like that.
I will start. I will pick up my tin whistle that I got on a hyperfixation from, I think, either a year or two ago, and I'll practice it once in a while.
One of my New Year's resolution is to read more, which I feel like is probably a lot of people's, but I'm holding myself to it.
I feel like the tin whistle one's a lot of people's too.
Yeah, definitely. I think that like every person I talk to, they specifically tell me that they can't wait to start learning how to play that. It's wild. I'll come over with my clarinet from like 4th grade.
And my new ocarina that Mariah got me for Christmas.
Yeah.
One of my New Year's resolutions is that I want to, why the fuck I just forget just now?
Do your hair.
Oh, shut the fuck up,
I
Mom.
was trying to help. Sorry.
I'm kidding. I wanted to. Now you made me lose it
Sorry.
again. I wanted to start creating for fun when I'm not working towards bettering my portfolio. Obviously, I want my portfolio to be stuff that are fun, but I'm talking like low pressure, like the
You want to
clay stuff
enjoy
you got
art
me.
again.
Yeah. just to have fun where you want to sit down and get lost for a couple hours.
Yeah, and like we made our mood boards, we made our resolutions, and we are going to be new people. So if you're listening now and then you're listening next year, like we might be whole different people. Sorry.
Yeah,
Very
I'll have
disappointing
orange hair.
Episode 100, we are completely different people. So
Gosh.
just skip ahead and see if you
Well,
like
it wouldn't
the
be
new
100. It would be like 59 because we're on episode 9 and there's 52. It'd be
But wouldn't
63.
we still be different whether it was 59 or 100
Yeah,
in
but-
theory?
yeah. Kenzie's gonna dye her hair. I'm gonna go to the gym, be like buff. I'll be running hikes. I'm gonna be like a marathon bitch. Y'all gonna be like, Mariah, what are you doing next Saturday? I'll be like, I'm actually running a marathon. Wild.
I'm gonna be like, no bitches.
I'll be frolicking in the fields with my
Yeah,
tennis
actually,
on
my
ocarina.
self-confidence my self-confidence will be to the max, and I'll just be like, yeah, guys, here's my new partner for the month.
Oh yeah, that's,
Partner for the month?
Yeah, because you guys just told me I'm Page of Wands over
Oh
here.
yeah, you're right.
we
I
gave
was
her a
just
love reading.
I was thrown off because I was like, hold on, that's not something. you
basically
usually
said
say.
Mariah's gonna be a player. This
It
year.
basically reminded me that I'm no one's option. I'm not an option. I'm
the
Your
option.
option.
The
I'm
option. I'm the
That's
number
terrible.
one.
only option. I just didn't like. Yeah. I wish my mic was like a little smaller so I could like rest it right here on my boobs.
That's why I got a
But
Squishmallow.
you're like
underneath
this.
Yeah, because the mic's too big and my boobs are too big, so I'm like awkwardly. Anyway, so what are we talking about this week, Kenzie?
Well, this week, I mean, I offered it a few weeks ago, but
They don't know that they thought it was last week because the episode went out last week.
you're right. Last week, I told you guys that we should review Phantom of the Opera because Phantom of the Opera was
2004.
made in 2004 and was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. I was not allowed to watch it, and I just happened to come across it one night. The funny thing is my mom had been watching it maybe a week prior, and I tried to come in and watch it, and she was like, "Oh hell no, get the fuck out of here."
You were like 9.
Yeah, I was like 9 or 10, guys, like not preteen yet, and
she knows you
because-
so she's like, this will be an awakening. She's get out of here.
because I don't like secrets, I was downstairs on the TV just flipping through channels. It's not even that I knew it would come up. I was just like, you know, it's in the back of my mind. You know, Scorpio Lilith. I'm gonna remember stuff I was told not to watch. And I saw Phantom of the Opera was on the channel. I was like, oh hell yeah, click it. And it was in the middle of the winter, so it was snowing, and it would get dark early in the day. And this movie just completely represents that vibe, that cozy, murderous winter vibe. You know, that all the girlies love. So I wanted to show you guys, but Mariah had already seen it. But luckily, Kaylin had never seen it when I had shown her months ago.
Yeah,
It was like a year ago, man.
yeah, it was almost a year ago now, but it's okay.
Shut the fuck up.
I discovered it
That's
when
true.
I was like 11 in band class.
You too? Oh wait, you said that. You said
Yeah,
your
yeah.
thing.
I remember my band teacher was like, we watched August Rush, which was about this autistic boy who played the guitar this way. Like he would lay it down and he would be like, and he was like strumming, and I was like, this movie is not it.
Oh my god, Mariah.
And
What's
then-
somebody's favorite movie of the
I mean, it's fine if it is, but like I personally didn't enjoy it. It was just about a kid playing the guitar. I didn't care. But there's probably more to
She
it.
didn't resonate.
I was 11. I didn't resonate with it. And then we
You know,
watched
it did
a
resonate.
month later. We watched The Phantom of the Opera, and all I knew was that it was called The Phantom Opera. I didn't know there were like 12 different versions of it. But I was like, I don't know what the fuck my teacher just made me watch, but I loved every minute of it. And I remember I went home, I searched for it, couldn't find it, and then the next year he was like, "Oh, what movie do you guys want to watch at the end of the year?" And I was like, "Hey, Mr. Fatika, last year." Little antisocial Mariah. I was like, last
Hey.
year you showed us this Phantom of the Opera movie, and I loved it so much. I was wondering if we could rewatch it. And he was like, yeah, of course. Little did that man know that movie like really did rewire me.
Yes. Dude,
Like,
I felt
But like 11-year-old Mariah didn't know. But like 16-year-old Mariah, when she rewatched it on her own, like after I knew what it was called, then I was like, I now know why I love this film.
listen, I had neurons popping off in my brain the moment I was watching that movie and several things had happened in it. I
You
felt
anything to
my
go back
brain
in time and watch it as a child.
I felt my brain physically growing.
No, it was like
I don't know.
magical watching as a child because you didn't know any better. You were just like, oh my god, you were like entranced. You were in a
I
whole
was
different world.
Like even as
You
an
were
adult,
Christine.
I could see the
Mhm.
pop rocks y'all are talking about, but I wish I still could have watched it as a child. I like to share like my first impressions from a distance before I even knew what it was about, and a conversation I heard with you and another person we went to school with about it. And I'll tell you what I thought going into it, like what it was. I thought the Phantom of the Opera was a murder mystery dinner. That is just my assumption of what it was. Like there's a guy at an opera house, and he's killing off everybody, but it was like You don't know if the butler did it. Didn't know
You
if
said
they did it."
Clue, the Phantom Edition.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought it was, and I was like, Phantom of the Opera. I did not know it was a romance. Not one bit. Did not think it was
Which is
romance.
sad.
You know what's funny is that the person you're referring to from school, when they had said that they were Team Raul, we should have known.
You should have
We
known.
should have known that was not
We'll get to
somebody.
there. But I do remember being in the car, and I was like, y'all quit spoiling it, because this is what they said. The friend at the time was telling Kinsey that Raul is not the bad guy. So I was like, great, now you spoiled it. And Grace was like, no. I guess I said her name.
Doesn't matter. Can you bring your mic closer to your face?
As she takes.
So she was telling you, I'm going to say it all over again. She was telling, stop it. Stop it.
To your face.
I'm kissing it
I'm
now.
not kidding. Careful.
on my
careful, 'cause
face.
If that bitch unplugs, we're fucked.
So I remember being in college. We were in the car, and a friend and you were arguing about Raul and Phantom, which I did not know who Raul was or whatever. And you guys were arguing about who was the antagonist, and this girl was trying to tell you that Raul was not the antagonist, and I was like, great, now you spoiled it, because I thought it was going to be some big twist. I watched it, and I was like, Raul is technically not written to be the antagonist.
Listen.
I'm
Listen.
dead. We'll get to
What's so funny is that when Grace had said that, I was like, you gotta be fucking with me. No, he's not the good guy. The Phantom is. What are you talking about?
I wonder what it's like to watch that film and think that he's the good guy.
Shut the fuck up.
Like,
I just-
imagine watching it and you're just like rooting for Raul the whole time. That's weird to me.
Yeah.
Oh, you said I wonder what's... Okay, yeah.
Like, imagine you're rooting for him the whole time. Every single time you're like, that man's crazy. Oh my God. Why would they tie him up? Blah, blah, blah. The Phantom is literally insane. Anyway. So yeah, what was your reaction of actually watching it for the first time?
Well,
After you found out it wasn't Clue?
This is what happened. I would be playing my Hamilton, my Heathers.
Yeah, you literally are meant to watch musicals. Like,
Yeah.
I love them.
I was born to watch musicals. And Kinsey would be like, hold on. And she would put on this opera-sounding music, which, for me, unless I understand the context or the lyrics, I just was hearing some angelic, like,
I will agree. Compared to like a standard musical, The Phantom of the Opera, even though it's not really opera music the whole time, it doesn't feel like the type of musical soundtrack.
Oh, it feels like an intense ass.
yeah.
Like,
But
at
if
least
you-
with
but
the
if you're
organs,
playing,
bro.
like-
beautiful, but I was just like, I can't really listen to the lyrics.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Like,
don't
if
know,
you're
it's weird.
comparing
My
it to
brain
like
can't-
Hamilton or like Dear Hansen or like the Newsies, like that's just like
Oh my
catchy
God,
little
Dear
shit.
Hansen.
But then when
Yeah.
you play the Phantom
basically
soundtrack,
rap.
it's like a whole different feeling. So like you're right.
It's a
Yeah.
serious, mysterious Scorpio tone.
So,
And that's not what a lot of musicals take on. Maybe they have like 2 serious songs.
there was
Yeah,
like
I mean,
where-
think of like High School Musical. That's just like poppy, couple sad, gotta go my own way, you know, like, and that's fine. The Phantom is different
It
experience.
is. It's an opera, and I think that because I didn't know the lyrics, I didn't know the story. Like Kinsey would be like, "I'm putting this on now," and she was in it. She was intensely creating artwork because we shared an art studio at the time, and she's like, "I'm gonna get you to watch it." And then I was like, one day I was like, "I'm ready. Let's watch it, guys." And I would say, it all made sense. Like the magic, the pop rocks y'all were talking about. I was just like, I'm mad that I didn't know what the story was about sooner, and I'm pissed that I didn't get to watch it as a child because I could imagine Kinsey's little. How old are you?
I
9.
was like 9 or 10.
9 years old.
Not even.
I
I
was,
was
like,
not
11.
a preteen. I was definitely
You're not even a
older
decade.
child. I was older child, bro.
Her little mind getting blown.
Listen, there were several moments in the movie that I was so excited for Kaylin to see, and
It was the
Didn't I watch
masquerade
it with you,
scene
Kaylin?
specifically.
We watched it together,
yeah.
and then we finished it together.
in the scene where she's in her dressing room after her lit ass performance,
The mirror scene.
the mirror scene,
Yeah.
and I was just waiting there, knowing
You're, like,
what the fuck was
watching
gonna happen,
Kaylin?
like out of my peripheral vision, like watching
me
Kaylin
watching-
like a
Oh yeah,
hawk.
I was here for that part.
And when it happened, the music goes,
Kim Lou was like
"Bah!" and he's like starts coming to the mirror. Kaylin was really like
entranced.
her whole body was consumed by this man, and I was like, that is exactly how I was at 9 years old.
I felt like autistically staring at the TV, and then you can ask Kinsey. I would not stop playing the soundtrack for like months straight.
I was okay with it though. I was
Yeah,
like,
you're
I was
"I'm not
like,
mad."
It's that good.
is that good?
I was like,
this.
this. I was like, I understand the lyrics now. I know exactly what the fuck they're saying.
and Kaylin would talk about all the passionate lyrics, and like, I already loved the songs, and I felt the same way when I listened to songs. But when you hear somebody that hasn't watched it before talk about how intense it is, I'm like, you're right.
I'm not
Dude,
kidding.
I didn't appreciate it as much.
From
you're
the
right.
second the
I
film
almost
starts,
cried at one
like
point,
the
too.
second the music hits and the chandeliers raised off the ground, like it's like chills, and I'm like entranced into
We're
the
talking about
film.
when it starts.
Literally the beginning of the
and
movie.
it takes you back
The
into
second
the
it
past.
starts, I mean, like like I said, the first time I watched it, I was like, what is this black and white film? But then I was like, dun, 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 and I was like, oh my God.
I know. I was like, I'm being teleported.
And like the cobwebs are being blown away and everything's just, I mean, I think that's their goal. Like they're transporting you from current time to that time.
I know, but I'm saying the fact that they viscerally
They
sent
did it
me
good.
into it. They did
Yeah.
it so well.
I'll go over a few highlights, like moments that made me like scoot closer to the edge of my seat, or I was just like literally jaw drop. When I saw the Phantom on the roof, and that he was listening the whole time about them singing "Think of Me" and like proclaiming their love, like their lifelong love for each other.
Bro,
Seeing
Kaylin
his
cut straight to the
Scorpio ass,
to the 3/4 of the film.
I'm just, I'm highlighting.
It was
We'll
very
talk about
sad, though. Wasn't it so
Yeah.
sad seeing how he was
I was
responding?
Every time I listen to just the soundtrack, I always picture that scene so viscerally, like, because when it cuts to his song, you could still hear them singing in the background
know,
of
they're
the
like-
soundtrack.
What's that?
I was
Say
shocked when I saw that he was there,
your
and then his
name.
song, his reprise of it. That's
He's
where
pissed.
when he first started singing it, I was like sad, and I was like, he's pissed.
And you know, in that song, you're like,
I think
damn,
Kaylin's Scorpio heart resonates with him.
my Scorpio Lilith does. But when you hear him like start getting mad, when I was a kid, I was like, shit, is he gonna hurt Christine?
Yeah, that's what you think.
like
'cause
I
he's
was
fuming.
nervous.
You know what? I'm gonna come back to that, but you're right, Maya. I will stop highlighting because I just get further and further into the movie. We can go back.
Yeah,
but
let's take it back to the mirror scene
Sorry about
because
that.
you're right. That moment where you faintly see him in the mirror, and then all of a sudden his hand is out of the mirror, and he's just like, "Come with me," and she's fully like hypnotized by this man. Speaking of which, like, she's also like, think of how her emotions are. She just performed for the first time on her own. She also saw Raul in this crowd, and she's like, "Oh my God, is that Raul? Like my childhood lover?" And she's like high, like she's like literally like enjoying her whole life, thinking about her dad, reflecting in this mirror, looking at herself, and then all of a sudden, the angel of
he was
music
mad,
shows
and
up.
the only reason he revealed himself is he saw Raul. He's like, who the fuck is this?
He was like, shit, I gotta
No,
get a move
it wasn't. It
on.
wasn't mostly because of Raul. It was because the fact that all he wanted was for her to perform, and he was like, she just performed
Oh,
a
but yeah, I mean,
masterpiece.
out of all
I
the
would
years
agree
and
with
years.
I would agree with Mariah because he did lock the door so that Raul could not get in there, but he had made it.
He had
planned
intentions
this.
because of that. He was like, "You performed. I'm so proud of you. Like
Now
I'm
going
even
to
more in
reveal
love with
myself."
you.
Mhm.
I'm going to reveal the angel of music to
Couldn't
you."
hold himself back, kind of thing. But like, can we just talk about the actors, like, how good they were at
Yeah, we'll
acting?
take no Gerard Butler hate. I said this before on our Instagram when I posted about it. I was like, we don't want to hear it. If
I-
you don't support him, I don't want to hear it.
I've never, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, ever heard of Phantom that I liked more than Gerard.
Have you watched
Butler.
any of the other movies?
I've not watched them. I've listened to clips.
Okay. I was
yeah,
checking.
I saw a clippy the other
Multiple-
day.
I mean, I haven't either. I was just wondering.
Oh no, I just looked
So
at
I'm kind of
'cause
biased.
when I heard that there was like Broadway versions
Yeah.
and shit like that, and I was like, shit, well, let me hear some clips. Like, I want to go, and I would still go just because I love Phantom of the Opera. But nothing hits at all, nearly at close ever to
Yeah.
Gerard Butler. And apparently
Kaylee
he
said
got
she saw Phantom of the Opera at Playhouse.
Apparently he got hate when he did the movie that people said he couldn't sing and that he sucked. And it's just like, what are you talking about? My whole soul was consumed
Yeah.
by this man. And like, what I'm saying is like, the actors were so good at singing and they portrayed their characters so well. Like, I don't know, for such an early movie, early 2000s, the effects, the actors, and the singing, I was like, I feel like I'm there.
Bro,
I literally
you're
feel like
right.
I'm there.
Even effects, like when they were going down that hallway with the horse, like it does not feel like it was made in 2004.
Bro, remember when I made that joke and I was like,
That poor horse only
I
knows
was
that
like,
hole.
who taking care of the horse? Who feeding him? I was like, he got a whole horse down here, and he got to take care of it, and it was waiting for him. I was like, what?
It only knows that hallway. It knows the door, the water,
Yeah,
the
it
door,
took him
the
from
water.
He pissed
Balls
in the
to
water. Shit in the water. He drinks
Drink
from
in
the
the
water.
water.
Come on, the
You know
Phantom's
those
taking care of that horse.
Sometimes they have like weird horse bales that hang on like the wall of like
Mhm.
straw. So maybe he got some straw down there.
You saw him taking care of his little hideaway. He was nurturing that horse.
Yeah, hopefully he was taking care of it.
Yeah, and then
Low-key man is and I don't mean this derogatory as an autistic person. Low-key, he autistic. Just the way he got his setup down there, and he hyperfixates on everything.
yeah,
The way he got his setup.
yeah. So then he brings her down to that whole scene's still amazing. Like the way Christine looks with her hair, like the curls are falling out. She's in this little dress. He's mesmerizing her, and her face is just like hypnotized by it.
How dare she be that beautiful? Because Kaylin is the reason why in college I started questioning if I was straight. But the funny thing is that I
If you
thought
were straight,
I was questioning if I was still straight.
oh okay.
Because the funny thing is I always had thoughts very similar to gay people. But I was like everybody thinks women are pretty. Like everybody
Yes, if you
wants
gay, Bruce.
You're like everyone's
Yes, you gay.
everyone's
everybody
a
wants
little
to look
gay.
at some movies. Why
Every-
not?
Yeah.
And when I was 9, it was one of the first moments where I was watching a movie and I could not take my eyes off of Christine or Gerard Butler, aka the Phantom.
Especially that scene though, like that scene.
That scene is what I'm talking about. Like I already thought she was beautiful, right? But then they pull out all the sex appeal and everything while she's being taken down into the dungeon.
They did that on purpose.
And I'm like,
not for 9 and 10-year-old Mariah, but they did that on purpose.
Yeah, they did that for the adult crowd, and they
Instead, they've attracted the gays.
Man just didn't have to yell at her. That's it.
No, it wasn't the yelling part. That was the next morning. What got was when he showed the fucking wax replica of her.
He could have had her in the bag. He could have had her in the bag.
She woke up and she's like,
"Oh
maybe
yeah,
I reacted a little. Like it's just one of his little hobbies."
But I'm saying, he had her so hypnotized that
he could have got some.
I didn't want to say that directly, but he could have gotten anything he wanted out of her that night.
You should beep that, dog. You should beep that. It'll be funny because people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then he ruined it by showing a wax replica, and she fainted because I would also faint.
Like, just imagine if you met a guy just naturally in Starbucks
and you're like,
or something.
They're obsessed with me. I love this.
He's obsessed with you. This is great. Like, he's like giving you so much attention.
And then you open their closet and there's a whole ass shrine of pictures of you. We're talking I don't know if you guys seen You from Netflix, but that's the level of creepiness that I would imagine in modern day.
And he turns to you check this out. Look
at what I've collected. Your hair samples and
he's probably
your
clothes,
your cuticles
to try to size it.
Yeah,
and get this, wedding dress just right.
I'd be like, all attraction gone.
Yeah.
Now, sadly, because Phantom is fiction, I'm like, oh, Phantom, I still love you. That was a little weird, but
if it was
real
life,
we
would not support the Phantom, guys.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, we understand in the original Phantom that he grooms her,
winking, bro.
Wink, wink.
and he manipulates
Yes.
and grooms her and shit like that. But we're just talking about fiction right now. Fantasy
when we were kids
world.
and didn't know any better.
All I saw was the chemistry, all right? And that's what I'm talking about tonight.
Yes. Well, we admit that he was toxic and Raul was not.
I'll get back to this other point, but when you think about it, the movie kind of does come to a conclusion that is
yeah, you're right. No, very, very quickly too. It's not like it takes long.
Pissed.
Immediately after this next scene, if you're looking at it with the right lens, she's aware that he's creep.
Yep, and it just goes downhill from there because she starts recognizing that his love is an obsessive love.
Yeah.
That she feels trapped in and controlled by, that she has to live a certain way. But when she's with dusty ass Raul, for some reason she feels free.
If y'all like Beauty and the Beast, it's kind of the same thing.
No.
He keeps her captive and he's like,
no.
I need you to love me, and then he lets her go.
The Beast never let her go in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He said that she can come out of the cage, but she had to live in his mansion and stay there.
Yeah, but then she said, "Go to your dad." It was
at the end he says, "Go."
At the end, yeah. That was a different, but that's a different timeline.
Stockholm syndrome.
But you can't compare it.
Yeah, they're not the same because one's toxic and one's not.
They still ended up with the Beast. Like Belle still ended up with the Beast, and you know what? My girlie didn't end up with the Phantom. He died alone.
I know, and that's what I'm saying.
He didn't die.
If you justify that, then you can't come.
I would say the difference is that Phantom was toxically obsessed and grooming, versus the Beast just kidnapped her because he was pissed about her dad. And then was like, okay, you can fucking live here, but you're going to be my slave.
But
Got it? And then he slowly fell in love, where it was the opposite, where the Phantom was obsessed, and she was like, I'm fucking in love with Raul.
I see the differences. I'm just saying, even the pot was in on it. She's like, girl, we can make this work.
Yeah, because they wanted to be humans. They wanted to be humans. They were like, we can only be humans if the fucker falls in love. So let's make them fall in love so we can be humans again.
I'm just saying that you should hate the fiction part of Phantom that we're talking about if you,
I feel like Kinsey and I are supporting a more toxic part of the Phantom.
Yeah, I mean, he killed.
We're not talking about Stockholm. We're not talking about the Stockholm syndrome. We're talking about the obsession, the never-ending love and will to do anything
and I'm
for her.
That just sounds like devotion. What? What do you mean?
Gosh dang it! So obviously after the mirror scene and all that, those are you have to listen to all 4 of the songs in a row. What happens? Why am I blinking on how we get from what happens after she wakes up and he yells at her the next morning, the next day?
I think he takes she wakes up randomly somewhere because she does not remember leaving that dungeon.
Oh, she wakes back up in her room.
Yes, yeah, I remember her. She's like, was that a dream? Because the thing is, it didn't go well. So he was like, shit, she fell asleep. And he took her back upstairs.
And then we go straight from there to her performing again.
Actually, the next time she performs as a boy, remember?
Yeah, they're trying to get
Because
Prima Donna
because she
said,
did too well.
Oh yeah,
And
prima
Prima Donna
donna's
was
a little
like-
upset. She's like, "Oh, you guys think that she's better
I'm about
than
to walk
me,
out, and they're like,
and I will take all the cast with me when I leave."
Yeah, so they're like, okay, hold on, let's pull you
Yeah.
back.
oh,
the-
she said that? I didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
she says like
Yeah.
some of the people were gonna go with her, like her friends, and then the
Yeah.
Phantom's in his little cave making the girl the boy and making her the queen again with his little clay figures.
Yeah, but then he sets up the whole show to not go in her favor,
Yeah.
which I thought was
Yeah,
very
and he
funny.
murders,
And he murders.
She gets a
hangs
frog
the
in her
man, and then straight from there it's a cutscene. It's a whole like 6-month cutscene, isn't it?
Didn't he like
So
kind of
he
deserve
throws-
to get hung? the
Oh,
first
he was
time?
No,
that
he was just
guy
a
was
bodyguard.
no, that guy was chasing the Phantom. Like he saw the Phantom in the hangars, and he was running after the Phantom,
He
and the
didn't
Phantom
deserve it,
set it
but
up so that he
I'm
could
not
die.
saying like legitimately deserved it. I'm just saying the Phantom
He did
was
something.
Like,
The Phantom didn't just kill him to kill him.
Yeah,
like
the Phantom
the
was
man
like,
was
"Damn,
chasing
bitch."
the Phantom, and the Phantom was like, "It's my
Phantom's
life or
like,
yours."
fuck around and find out.
Pretty much. He was like, "Let me slide through the secret little ass door, and if you follow, we'll see what happens."
That sounds like some scary ass shit.
I mean,
Damn.
the Phantom clearly did not care.
Yeah.
He had a rough life.
He
He had a rough
life.
childhood.
Give him some leeway.
Yeah. So then we have like a whole cutscene, right? It goes straight from there to
Wait. So then, this is what happens. It's the think of me next because she's like, "Come with me," and they run upstairs, and she's crying.
Oh,
She's like, I
yeah.
don't know what the fuck to do. Like, this
Oh
guy-
yeah, because the
Uh,
hanged man is like floating or during the scene,
Yeah.
and she's like,
So
oh
they
my
gotta
God.
go on the ceiling, and
she's like
"Don't
realizing
be
that he's actually
afraid."
toxic. She's like, "Wait, this guy's so obsessed with me, he's killing for me now."
Mhm.
Yeah. That's when she's like, "I'm so scared."
Oh,
I'm afraid of
Christine, what are
darkness."
you
He's like,
afraid
"No more
of?
darkness.
That's
I'm
another
here for you.
Wasn't
I'll
he
protect
planning
you.
on killing Prima Donna during the show, and that guy saw something
I
about it?
I don't know if he was necessarily going to kill her, but I think he wanted to do something
No,
to her.
no. Remember, he was trying to get the chandelier thing to fall on her,
Oh,
and that guy saw it. And
you're
he
right.
was
You're
like,
right.
You know, I mean, good for him. He tried running after the Phantom. The Phantom said, "It's either her or you." It's
You are
either her
right,
or
because he
you.
like ruined her throat, and then he was like, "She's still trying to fucking perform, and she's not the star." He was like, "I'm sick and tired of hearing her voice."
He's
in
like,
my,
so
my
I'll
basement.
kill her. And so then after the guy gets hung, they run upstairs, and she's like, oh my God, he's so obsessed with me that he's killing people. And she's like, Raul, I just want to be free. And then they start singing. And the
I'm not gonna
Phantom-
lie, that's a good song.
It is.
It's a phenomenal song, and it's the only time where I'm rooting for Raul.
Yeah.
Although I still think he's not as sexy or
Yes, yes, yes.
charismatic as
It's
the
the
Phantom.
sideburns.
It is a
you know. It's
sideburns.
the sideburns, bro.
But when I hear that song, like when I'm listening to the soundtrack, obviously I'm jamming to the first four, the Holy Trinity of the Phantom of the Opera song. But when that song comes on, I'm like in my feels. Libra Venus is out.
You know what it is for me? I think Christine did such a well performance, you know what I'm saying? Where she sounded and looked like she was in love. That's literally what made me be like, okay, I can get with Raul, you know, being with her right now in this moment,
Mhm.
simply because I think her performance was so amazing.
But then when
Raul
it
was
cuts-
like, all right.
But then when it cuts to the Phantom being all piss hurt in the
Yeah.
background, you're
This
like,
was my first
"Shit."
highlight of just like, well, after the Holy Trinity,
Yeah.
I was just like, he's on the roof. I was so fucking flabbergasted and like scared. I was like, what's he gonna do? And then his song made me sad, and then I was scared again because he got mad at the end of the song. It was a lot. So then he disappears.
It's a mix of emotions. It is a mix of emotions when you hear that song.
He does disappear for a year.
A
That is
whole ass
such
year.
a Scorpio thing to do.
Because he's plotting. It's not that he disappears. He goes and makes a whole plot. Like he game
well, I'm
plans.
sure he had to,
Oh yeah, he had to isolate because that's
he
what
had to
Scorpios
warn
do.
first,
He had
and
to go
it-
through a
and then
whole
it took
death
him a week,
cycle.
And then he was like,
A week.
Yep, I mean, he was gone for
I mean,
years.
yeah, and then
I
he
mean,
wrote a whole
plotted
ass
for a
play.
year.
He wrote a whole play.
He said, we're going to transform.
And I bet you it was mixed of emotions. I bet you he was like, "This is my game plan." I'm speaking as a Scorpio. He's like, "I'm gonna fucking do this, and I'm gonna kill them." And then he's like, "No, we can't actually do that. Let's think of a better solution." And then he goes back and forth. This is later. And then he goes back and forth, and then he's like, "Okay, this is the new plan, guys." And he was like, he probably had to like calm himself down. Think about like when your Scorpio has a visceral
Like, you're-
reaction, and you have to bring out logic for a minute.
He's like, let's do this right. If we're going to do this, let's do this right. And then a year
And it's
goes
entertainment.
by.
I'm not gonna lie. As a Scorpio, you want entertainment with the revenge.
Yeah, he's like, I got to get everything I need.
Yeah.
And I got to get away with stuff. So then a year goes by, and
Christine's
the masquerade
engaged.
happens.
And then my favorite scene, masquerade.
I like the masquerade scene, but I like more when the Phantom fucking
shows up with the
Yeah,
Glass
I don't
in.
think I like the thing about the masquerade scene is the concept. Like, first of all, I know it's been a year, but the idea that the owners of the opera house were like, you know, it would be a fun event, a masquerade ball, knowing damn well the Phantom's still alive. I know it's been
Yeah.
a year, but the concept's hilarious.
They thought that he went
Yeah.
away. I mean, maybe there's not.
I think
Honestly,
I
it
bet
was
you it was
just
a
false
joke. They were
hope,
like, remember when there was a Phantom last year and he wore that mask? We should have a masquerade ball.
Wait. You know what's even funnier? I love how they know this bitch exists, and he shows up play after play, and like even including this one, like he comes and he's like, here's your next act, and he drops it on the floor. This guy has killed bitches. Like,
No one's.
and
They're not
still,
startled enough
they
for
read
me.
it and they're like, shit, it's good. We got it. That's what's funny. They still do it. They still perform it.
Shit, it's good.
Like, they don't even think for a second that, like, it could be an evil scheme or
Yeah,
that he's going to kill more of their
like,
people.
The Phantom sets them up every time. Like even that one scene when he wrote letters to all of them.
Well, I don't know though,
Oh, yeah,
because when he busts in the masquerade, Christine's talking to Raul and she's like, "I'm afraid. I don't want to do this. I know this is a plot." And Raul's talking to the.
He's like, "What are you afraid of? It's fine."
He's talking to the.
Oh, that's the song
theater
before then. Sorry.
He's talking to the theater owners,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Let's make a plan. We will literally use Christine as bait to bring the Phantom out."
Yeah.
Like, they were plotting when they were given that last play. So it wasn't, although I think you were hilarious in saying that, Kaylin, I think there was some sort of plot that they were doing as a counter. You
But
know?
they didn't spend a whole year making their plan. That's the problem.
Yeah, so it's kind of like,
it's
are
funny,
you
these-
so sure about your plan?
Since the opera house owners bought the place, the lady, Phantom side bitch that, blonde chick's mom.
You mean his
uh,
mom figure?
Well, she was a girl when she found him, so I don't know. That chick the one girl he fucked with
Yeah.
in the mansion, that knows his secrets and shit. She's like, yeah, there's a Phantom, and you got to do the place.
Not even her. The old
what he
owners
wants.
told them, didn't they? They told them, like, by the way, here's the Phantom's like paycheck. This is what you got to pay him every month. And they were like, what a joke. And they're like, we're not kidding. And then the guy was like, good luck. Bye.
He's a good look. I'm done dealing with his ass. So bye.
Gosh. Yeah, so we have the masquerade scene. I love that scene when the Phantom falls and they're in the mirror and Raul falls down. First of all, I'm sorry. Raul, what do you think you're going to fucking do?
Yeah.
Why'd you follow him into his trap?
Wait, but hold on. I really liked when he popped up in his red ass suit.
Oh, the whole new mask and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He comes in and drops it down.
No,
Sorry,
I
just wanted
agree.
to focus on
The suit, the look.
imagery. I was like, girly pop.
And he's got a different mask on and everything.
And it's even scarier because he's been gone for a year, and then he pops up with a
While they're
different
dancing,
color?
they're doing a whole party and dance.
yup, and then
It's
they
like,
fall in the
masks
hole.
funny.
Now we can talk about the next part. I just want to talk about that.
Yeah, and then Raul follows him down the hole.
With no sword, no nothing.
Nothing.
But
he
wait,
just follows him.
What about? I think you guys are wrong. He doesn't fall through the hole yet because they have to do that final play. Remember?
No.
Yes,
We're
okay,
talking
there's
about
two
the
different
masquerade scene when the Phantom does his little smoke bomb, drops in the hole, Raul follows him, and there's a bunch of mirrors. And the Phantom's like maniacally
Right,
laughing on the other side of the mirror because they're in like a mirror maze.
And that's when his buddy, the chick, turns on him and saves Raul because she's like, "Listen,
She's like,
this is my buddy from like kindergarten, but now he's taken a little too
kindergarten.
far."
She like
Okay, I
adopted
remember that
him.
So then they decide to do the play musical anyways. And this, because there are 3 outfits that we can all
my
talk about
God.
that affect me as a child. There's the
Beautiful dress.
the first dress of
The Think of Me dress.
Think of Me. Beautiful stars, like, oh my god, I want to be married in that kind of dress. Then there's the, Phantom of the Opera main song where she's wearing that nightgown, bridal, sexy ass thing, I don't know. And then at the end is when she's wearing the past the point of no return dress.
Yeah.
There's like salsa looking inspire,
In that scene, oh my god, I was tearing up. You were crying.
I was crying. Well, like, I'm talking about, first of all, she looks so good. She looked popping, and she might say that the Phantom's dangerous motherfucker, but
But
she's
she
got a
keeps
boner
giving.
for him.
She gives into it.
She's got a boner for him.
She
It's the
entertains
truth.
it. It's not like she's running or hiding. Like she's like showing the emotions
She's-
towards it.
And like she admits at one point in my personal like favorite part of the movie, which is the end. She's like, it wasn't the fact that you are scarred and deformed. It's the fact that like your soul is deformed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
that
it
was
is.
so sad. But before we get to that, because that was sad.
I'm
When
just
they're
saying that, your point about the boner, like we could say haha funny, but it's just like she's like, you could have had it, but you yelled at me and I didn't like that.
I mean, you yelled at me.
You hurt my
started
feelings, so
killing
fuck
people, you started controlling me was the main reason. Like, she was basically saying, you couldn't love me freely, you had to control me. Like, basically like a bird in a cage, and that's not what love is. Like, that's straight up what she told him. And at the end, when she says that to him, his whole, like, thought process when he hears that shit, he's like, she did love me. She could have loved me, and I ruined it. It was such a Scorpio
I remember being a
death
child.
thing.
I was like, obviously as an adult, I wouldn't know this, but as a child, I was like, I wonder which one she's gonna pick.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Like after she goes to her father's grave, I'm like, I wonder if she's gonna be with Raul or the Phantom.
also, it's just like, if y'all just talked about it, maybe.
Yeah, if the
be
Phantom just
together
calmed down for a second and Raul just like took a day off,
and y'all
and let her breathe.
reconciled.
Let's talk about a
it
point
could have
of
worked out.
no return just a second longer because, like, you know, when she rips his mask off, like, it ripped my heart out. I was
Well,
like,
okay, but what about right before that though, when they're singing and the tension is probably the thickest I've ever seen in the movie? Because hear me out. I know when he brings her down in the dungeon the first time, the tension's immaculate.
It's different
right?
though. It's a different
But
type of
in
tension.
the second one, it's like
Because she's
like
more
they're gonna
present.
have sex.
She's
dead
more
ass.
present there. The first
Yeah,
time she's like
very-
hypnotized.
So I'm saying they're like both equally present because the other one, you know, she's kind of dreaming and
Yeah.
kind of not sure if it's real. So this one, they're looking each other in the eyes. They're so totally attracted to one another. Like when I was a kid seeing this shit, I thought I was watching sex. Like that's how it felt.
You were
I
like,
was
this is porn.
this is pornography.
the female gaze, guys.
And like the way they were touching each other so lightly, but
Yeah.
like the tension was thick as fuck. And then when she rips
And this
the
is why I'm saying
mask,
I thought that they were going to end up together as
that's
a 10-year-old.
what I'm saying.
I was like, she's really going to give up her whole world, live in this dungeon with the Phantom for the rest of her life.
And I
when
would too.
and for me, it's he starts singing the "All I Ask of You."
Oh,
Flabbergasted.
Because he was just
He
like,
manipulated
love-
her.
He's like, I would love you like that. Just love me back like that. And then she rips his mask off, and I was like, you did not. You did not just. Why did you do that?
honestly, she had no reason to do that. There's no, like, when I think about it, there's no logic reason for her to do that, other than to, like, obviously startle him. But, like, in that
I think it
moment,
was a-
how intense it was, like, she didn't have to do that.
if it was like a slap on the face,
It
like,
was.
I don't know if
very
she.
intense version of rejection.
I don't know if she felt like that she couldn't say no to him. That like if she said no, that he wouldn't take no as an answer. Like that. This is my guess. Did she do it because she knew it would be enough of a rejection for him to know that?
Mhm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like to
Yeah.
humiliate him, which is extreme. But you know he is crazy. He is obsessive over her and killed people over her. So did she feel like she could really just say, "Hey, yeah, I'm into you, but I don't think this could work," without him?
Yeah,
trying
you're
to
right. No,
further-
because what we saw further was, like, afterwards, was she was like, I'm literally in love with Raul, and he was like, you're in love with who? Because I could take care of that, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so although
yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
it was so wrong because he was being so vulnerable, I also think he was in a state of mind where he wouldn't have accepted any
Yeah.
form of response besides that whole ass humiliation. And when you saw that, he still snatched her. He still said, you know what? Fuck you, bitch. That was rude as fuck. But I have the hots for you. I'm taking you anyways. You know?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Again, the autism.
He said, this is my hyperfixation for the past 20 years. I'm
I've been
taking
plotting
it.
for a year. You're coming with me. Like, and then when she, like you said, the loving freely, she's like, "What are you gonna do now? Like, take my flesh?" And
I know. She really was like,
she was crisscrossing like too. She's like, "What are you gonna do? Okay, you love me so much, like you felt like you had to kidnap me, like." And like you said, his whole thought process started changing. He's like, "Yeah."
She was like, "You're just gonna rape me?" Like that. I didn't know what that scene was when I was a kid when she said that, and rewatching it as an adult, I was like, she's speaking some facts. Like, you love her so much, you're gonna take her against your will. Like, are
Yeah.
you gonna rape her? Are you gonna like? What's wrong with you? And I think he was like, damn, if I do love you, I want a passionate love with you. I don't want to force you.
Yeah,
into
I mean,
anything."
Homeboy was like, I think she obviously, like, he's still a horrible person, but I think she really, like, opened up things for him because obviously he was, like, had no social skills.
Yeah.
And she said
Like,
that
he
tears-
was raised in a cage and then was raised in a dungeon underneath an opera house.
Yeah,
So
he
I
got some
think that,
issues.
yeah, he's got some issues, and maybe she really made him reflect. You know, maybe he needed to do some shadow work after
Maybe
that.
his thought process was like, we already have a connection, so if I just keep
Yeah.
her anyways, maybe she'll just get over it.
Like, he
kinda
really
thing.
didn't get it. He was just kind of like, well, we clearly like each other, so why are we denying?
So why not? And she's like, that doesn't matter. Just because I have
Yeah.
feelings for you doesn't mean you can just take me whenever you want. That's the whole control issue that she didn't like.
Yeah.
Like, you want to tell me what to do and take me.
But all he saw when he was a kid was people, like, controlling him. not to like give justice to the Phantom, but yeah, that's what we're saying. Like, he literally, people blocked him in a cage and used him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, well, they love me so much that, like, they kept me in a cage. And I love her so much, I will keep her in a cage. We've never reflected deeply on, like, the Phantom's actual trauma before.
We've always been like, damn,
Y'all
there's
stay
something
simping. Y'all
there.
stay simping.
What?
Anyway.
I said, y'all stay simping. That's why.
Yeah.
Like there's no need to like reflect when you're just like.
But
I mean,
as
to
a
be fair, there's no need to
child-
reflect when you're like, he's an asshole. Even if you were like a Phantom hater, you don't ever think about
But
their
listen,
background.
maybe it's my Virgo moon. I don't know. As a child, when I saw him make that realization
Mm-hmm.
and let her go, and he went to his room and he cried because he did love her.
Yeah.
Like, even if you just cut out the obsessive part, he loved her so
Yeah, at the end of
much.
the day, he loved her that much.
And I was like, but he's better now. He's literally fixed. It took 2 seconds. Be with him now. Like, I was like, come on.
You're like, he's crying. That means he's learned his lesson.
yeah.
Like he said sorry.
Yeah.
No.
So
Rewind.
Oh, yeah, so
Literally-
past the point of no return.
I think this is my biggest highlighter. Like if I were to just scribble in the script with my big bright yellow highlighter, this is the part that just was making me gasp and gag and sweat. Is when Raul came down. And
Oh
just
my God.
The lyrics, the music, the pacing, the tension. Like at first, I thought maybe they were gonna have it out, but I was like, you need to bring a sword.
I will admit,
Raul,
there was a
dumb
split
bitch.
second during that scene where Raul was attractive.
Which one?
Ah!
Or if you tell me
When
that
he was chained up. Ah!
first of all,
When he
first
was
of all,
chained
Mariah,
up.
he was dumb enough to get himself stuck on that wall.
I'm not
That's
saying that he
sexist.
was smart. I said there was a split second where he was attractive.
Physically attractive on the being chained up.
Maybe
I
I'm
have
sorry, girl.
problems.
Raul, that's hot.
Context-
Maybe you have issues,
Context
Ryan.
comes into play with me, and he got like straight up
Yes.
easily
he was
thrown
dumb.
on that wall. So
But
I
there
can't
was something
be attracted
about
to
him
it.
being
now.
chained up on the wall and like trying so hard to get off to save Christine. Where I was like, I said a split second. It was like you flick at the light on.
I think the dynamics.
I'm gonna let you enjoy your opinion, but
Let me.
I
tell
would
you-
like to say out of all of us, I have a very interesting dynamic of when I find things attractive
No,
that are
I
not
physically
that are
find
not
that-
typically
AKA
No,
the
attractive.
fight scene between Griffith.
the thing is I find the theory of it attractive. Like, yes, having a man chained up to a wall where he's still fighting and wants to be with you so bad, and just the idea of submissive men is very attractive.
How
to
do you
me.
get up there?
But the thing is, that's where I get turned off. Where I'm like, Phantom threw your ass around, got you
Yeah.
on that wall. I'm attracted to Phantom.
I said
I just have this imagery in my head where I don't do the build up to the imagery, and I think it was like
Yeah,
the
so you're just looking at
disheveledness
the
of him, tied up, the hair
that's
messed
hot. I'll
up,
give you that.
the white shirt that was ripped, the water
But no, I
rising.
agree with
Yeah,
Kinsey.
I'll give
Because
you
when
that.
I first saw that scene, I turned to her and I said, "Phantom, just put him up on the wall."
yeah,
with
you're
a
not wrong.
Post-it
He was
note."
fucking dumb.
That's what I said.
He went
It's
down
so
there with
easy.
one thing, and that was Miss Ma'am saying, "Keep your hands at the level of your eyes."
Girl, when
That was the only advice
The-
had
the-
to be him.
Hold on, let me tell you. This is my favorite fucking scene in the movie. He walks up to Raul with such confidence. He's like, "Come on in, pretty boy, lover boy, whatever."
Yeah,
And he's like, "How dare you think that I would hurt her?"
yeah.
Like he was like, "Fuck you." For
I love that scene.
I was so
And
into that
fuck
too.
you for messing this all up. He's like, "You're the reason that this
Yeah.
happened," and puts the blame on him. Which, like,
And then he immediately turns to Christina and was like, "So pick me or him." I can't remember the exact
Yeah,
line, but
you
he
pick
says like,
I'll kill him.
yeah, basically he's like, you either save him and you stay with me forever, or I'll kill him and you'll stay with me forever.
The Phantom was like, pick the choice.
That scene, you're right. That scene was like a whole different thing because it's so intense. And you're right.
I
He's
love
like,
that it's on
he's fucking
Spotify
threatening
too. I love that they
him.
cut that whole
He's threatening
bit out.
her. Like he is pulling every ounce of ammo he has at this moment to get Christine to say yes to him,
Mhm.
which is absolutely insane.
And then she
I
just
was so
pulls
gagged
like
during that whole scene.
like she yells at him, but then she starts singing softly to him, like, you know, what the fuck is wrong with you, you kind of thing.
Well, at first she screams, and then he's about to kill
That's
him,
what I
and then-
said.
Yeah.
I said she yells at him and screams at him, and then she starts talking to him softly, like, I
Yeah, she
I could
tricks
have
him.
loved you. Kisses him. Oh my god, that kiss! When I was a child watching that kiss, I was like, you two obviously like each other. You like each other way more than I think you like Raul.
Yeah,
I truly think you're way more into Phantom than you are into Raul.
I think she was in love with the idea of Phantom.
You know, kids,
The idea,
question.
think about it. She was raised to think that this music of the night was going. Her dad died. Her dad was like, listen to the music of the night, and she loved the idea of Phantom, the idea of this savior that came and like helped her with her way, helped her with music. She probably had daddy issues, you know. And she's like this manly figure who is helping me, and he's in love with me, and he will literally do anything to protect me. But at the end of the day, she was like, but you are evil.
Which we didn't mention at all. The whole scene of her going to her dad's grave to let him go so she can help let go of the control Phantom has over her.
That
But we don't have to
true.
Yeah.
rewind for that.
Yeah, that is true. So I actually completely agree with you, Mariah. It actually shatters my child soul by you saying that.
My bad.
Because I think that is true, that she loved Phantom because as a child, losing a father, you need that father love. So you're going to go looking for it as an
Mhm.
adult. Not saying from experience, yes, saying.
But people do.
So
yeah.
it's just like you want to be cared for, you want to feel secure, happy, safe, you know what I'm saying? And the Phantom manipulated her through that. He said, I was sent by your dad. So just imagine a sexy ass
Because he was
man.
behind the mirror when she would cry about her dad. Like he literally was already aware of all of her insecurities before
Like,
she was even a teenager.
Just imagine a sexy ass man coming to you saying that he was the angel of
Saying
music that
those
only your
words.
father said to you.
yeah.
Like, I'd feel incredibly inclined to be with somebody who knew my dad. You know what I'm saying? And who was sexy
It's
and
basically
single.
the reality of like meeting someone. You're like, wow, I feel like I've known you my whole life. Like when I'll talk to you, I'm like, wow, Kinsey, I can't believe I told you my whole life trauma. It's like I've known you my whole life. But like he tricked her into that feeling.
True.
It's not the
Yeah.
same.
And the fact that I think about that kiss now, maybe she was kissing goodbye this idea she had
Yeah.
of him because she wanted that idea so bad. Oh my god, I'm so affected by that. That's so sad.
Well, I think she's doing it to save Raul as well. But question, Kinsey.
But the reason why the kiss is so much passionate was because she was letting go.
Oh yeah. Question, Kinsey. All right, we have our script out of the movie, and keep Gerard Butler. Everybody else is mad at you now. I don't care. I'm the director. I'm keeping him. Christine, obviously keeping her. You can go in and recast whoever else you want. Raul, let's say we recast him, and he's much hotter. The chemistry and the
No.
acting. No, shut up. I'm saying for the story, like when he shows up and wants to save her, like genuinely from this darkness, and he really loved her from like childhood memories. Like, and I'm saying it's intense, it's sexy, and she's like, I do miss you, and this is what free love is. And then here she is battling between, you know, that whole dynamic and grooming that we just explained with the whole daddy issue with the Phantom, and then this person who she freely loved.
Yes,
like
if Raul,
the scene might have felt
Yeah,
a
I
little
think
more
that the
different.
Raul and Christine chemistry didn't ever feel genuine.
Never did.
Even from that moment where he was like, "Could it be Christine?" I was like, "Okay."
think
I was literally like, "Who the fuck are you singing from the balcony? Shut the fuck up and let her
also, who the
sing."
fuck doesn't find her attractive right now in this moment?
Yeah, I think
What
that
I'm saying is
the
I was-
chemistry didn't feel real.
I always felt like their connection didn't have enough depth. I
Mhm.
felt like it was very superficial. Like when you're kids,
He was
with
just like,
a
"Oh,
guy
she's
friend, and
yeah."
you grow up, and of course they're into you because you have
He should've been
boobs and you're
hotter in the
attractive.
movie, and
He needed to be hotter. He needed to have more sex appeal, and there just needed to be more chemistry between the two. And you know
the
what,
Think of
Maya?
Me
I'm
song, she
sorry
did really
if,
good looking at
if
him.
that was true. If those things were
I could waver.
added, I totally would have wavered with Phantom because it would have seemed more as if he was only obsessed with Christine.
And I think that's where your guys' confusion comes from, because as kids, you didn't feel that, so you're just like, I'm going to support Phantom. Whereas I still think you guys would feel torn. You're like,
Yeah, I would be
wow, this is
torn.
Crazy
Of course I would.
connection. Yeah.
Just
But you're
imagine
right.
you
I do think that it was like that was the feeling. He was just like, "Oh, there's that fucking girl that I saw when I was in the opera house when I was 10. Now she's like a full grown adult. She's got tits. She looks good. Got good makeup. Like,
straight up,
I think I'm in love with her."
It straight up came off as just like some straight man bullshit where
Mhm.
they're physically attracted to the outside. It's like you don't know her.
Yeah.
You don't know her now. Maybe you knew a little bit of her then, but she has changed a lot since.
And I think if they gave us depth with their relationship, and Raul didn't have the sideburns, that yes, I could have felt. I know what you're saying. I think I would have been more torn about it. I would have been like, "Oh, but the Phantom like clearly loves her, but Raul is literally here to save the day."
Imagine in the Think of Me song if Christine did perfect. She looked at Raul like she cared about him. Imagine if he looked at her with that same intensity, or even the same intensity that Phantom did, like as the chemistry, because it just felt like he was singing like at her.
Yeah.
It did. I felt like she had so much like intensity when she was singing, and Raul was just a side character. Like I didn't feel like he
felt so out of
I
place.
didn't feel like he was in love with her the way Phantom was in love with her. Even if it was a tad bit from obsession, like he just didn't seem like he was as crazy.
Yeah, I
with
would.
her.
I like if you try to ignore the obsession part. Like it felt like there was passion when the Phantom was looking at her, speaking to her.
Oh, absolutely. And past, like, of course he was physically attracted to her, but like it was just more. It was more than that.
Yeah.
Of course, I want somebody to find me physically attractive, but the extra shit that Phantom would bring, I was
Yeah.
like, that's what I want.
And he was like regularly showing that he cared for her. He's like, "You deserve to be the star. Like, here's what I'm gonna do to help it." Raul was just like, "We're gonna get engaged."
So what? We're engaged.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Not hot.
he was literally just like excited to be engaged with. He was like, "Yeah, I bagged this hoe."
I bagged this hoe, about to get my dick wet. Like that's exactly what.
That's how it felt like. Yeah.
And as a kid, the fact that I didn't feel like they had any chemistry says something. As
Yeah.
a child, what
As
do I
a child
know about
that knows
chemistry?
nothing.
I don't know nothing. The fuck? Yes.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I've like read webcomics.
She
or,
dies.
Like, I've read, shut up.
Okay.
I've read webcomics or like fan fiction about like a triangle of love interest, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where a girl is like stuck between these two options and they're both so good, like you really don't know which one to pick. And if they would have made the movie more like that, then maybe I would have been like happy.
Maybe during the like cutscene of the year's time, if they would have showed me like some sort of their relationship blossoming, I would have felt different. I think that's something they could have inserted in that scene where they got engaged. Even if they showed me like them hanging out, the proposal, something.
I think they could have achieved it in the scene where they like were reconnecting. But the thing is you can't just have it off of memories. I understand that, but like, what if they had chemistry in that moment?
The
What if they
scene
were,
where
like,
he
popping
came to
off,
her
like-
room.
Yeah, he's like, hey, and it's not. Just
I don't
about
think
the
that scene
memories.
could have done it because you were still like on your high of the Phantom. I don't think.
They
I
looked in
don't
the-
think how, no
They
matter
looked in the
how
mirror
passionate
with the
they.
Phantom, and I was like, ship.
I don't think, no matter how passionate their rekindling moment was, I don't think that was the prime moment for it. I don't think so, just because it was right after the Phantom scene.
Yeah. But, you know, it's funny because there's many movies and, like, songs that I like and shows and shit, but Phantom is one of the only that I can rewatch and re-listen to and for some reason not get bored.
I agree.
When we put on that fucking playlist from beginning to end in the order that it should be sung,
I will only skip Prima Donna.
Yep.
I fucking get so hyped, you know?
I know that one day we were driving the car and I was like, well, we can't stop now. We're just doing laps because we were on the last song.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, if you listen to anything every single day of the rest of your life, you might get tired of it. But Phantom is something that I just still feel excited all the time when I listen to it.
It brings like so much emotions to me. Like when I came to pick you guys up from the airport, I was listening to it and I was literally like in my car, like in my feels. I was like, I am
it's my
enjoying.
Start it over.
Start it over.
My Hopeless Romantic ass, when I hear them yearning for each other in the songs and shit like that.
No, it's definitely what it is. Hopeless Romantic to a T.
I'm like, damn, devotion.
They're yearning for the love that they have each other. I'm just like,
and
oh
I'm about
my
to read
God.
this Court of Thorns book. I picked up from Barnes and Noble. I'm about to
order that.
I know. I'm like,
sorry, please.
Give me more.
It's about fairies. It's about
you know
porn.
What? I know very minimal about the book, and I'd like to keep it that way. And I feel like what I would describe is not
later.
accurate, and the fans would get mad at me.
Okay, so anyway, so yeah, after the point of no return, obviously Christine, sadly, I'm just kidding, ends up with Raul.
Oh, she does die though.
And then I think as a child, when I was watching it, and yes, it goes back to current time, and he's like got the clapping monkey thing. And he puts he goes to see her thing, and there's the rose on her grave.
And there's a ring too. Don't you remember? Yup.
No.
Yup. There's a rose and a ring, and it's the ring that Phantom wanted to give her to marry her.
Why don't I remember that all of a sudden?
And I was just going to ask you guys what you thought that symbolism meant, because I've never really understood.
I think that at the time when I first watched it, I think it was just a representation that one, he was still alive. Two, he never stopped loving her. But the question then, as a child, I had was, has he always been watching her?
My question was, did he choose to always love her and never take anybody else and wanted to give her the ring?
I think he fully...
Or was it him letting go of her?
I think he chose to only love her.
God damn it, that's so
But
what
I always was wondering is that, was he still watching her the same way as he watched her when she was in the house?
I think to an extent.
Maybe, of course, Scorpios never really stop. So I bet, like, it was, like, very, very
maybe
minimal.
making sure she's safe and happy.
Yeah, like, he was
healthy.
like, well, maybe if they break up one day, I'll stick my
Yeah,
foot in the door.
keep your receipts on.
let's say Raul had some beef, like.
Yeah, I do
and
think
he's like,
that's...
I will come home and kill your wife and children, and then Phantom's in the background.
I think the sad truth is, he was always ready to step in and take care of her if he ever needed to.
What if Raul ended up becoming, an abusive husband? Like, he was like, listen, I'm just gonna stand by the sidelines, and you died happy with him, so I'm gonna still show you that I'm devoted to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the ring and the rose is just the symbol of like that. I've always loved you. I've loved no one else, and
that's such an autistic man, for real.
Paying respects to that, I loved you enough to let you go a lifetime.
Yeah.
Oh. Damn.
Honestly, like, having that reflection, thinking about the fact of, like, his childhood, really, like, I was like, ooh.
Oof. Yeah. And also, I don't think he felt loved when he was caged, but I definitely think that he just saw power and control when he loved something. Yeah. Because why would you want to lose something you want?
I think that I don't ever reflect on how he was as a child and how it might affect him as an adult, because I think so many people are just like, he's bad, period, the end. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, you can cut out the rest. Are we done?
Yeah, I guess we'll just say our adios without Kaylin. So ask me what I'm sharing next week.
So, Mariah, what are you showing us next week?
Next pee break. We're wrapping it up. I don't
Well,
care.
typically I pee in the middle of the pod. I'll redo it, okay? I know, but it's just because I know that you had to go, and I was just trying to be considerate.
I was just asking when it was done.
Okay, we'll redo it. I'm sorry, I'll never do it again.
So, would you guys share Phantom with anyone else?
Yes.
Yes. I don't think that normally we have like a really specific audience. I will show anyone who gives me the time of day that 2.5 hour long film.
Yeah.
And I will gladly sit by their side and watch it with them. And then if they're like, oh, we can pause, I'm like, no, we will continue. Unless we're at the halfway point, continue watching. Thank you.
What about you, Kaylin?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely.
Yes. That's what I'm watching.
I don't know much to say. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes to anyone?
Yeah, I'd show my father.
Oh.
Okay.
I
Ask
love
me what I'm
that.
sharing next week.
Why? What are you sharing next week?
Next week I'm sharing Animal Crossing.
I didn't know this was coming.
Yeah, Kaylin didn't know. I did put it.
I saw it on the calendar.
Yeah, the only reason why Kinsey knew is because I put it on the Google calendar.
I've not gotten to my
It's
desk
okay.
yet.
I decided to share Animal Crossing because I want to do a video game because it's been a while, and I have played all the Animal Crossing games, so I would like to talk about all of them. Obviously, I know you guys have played New Horizons, and even though Nintendo has completely abandoned their game, I still love the game. I still love the franchise, and it means a lot to me as a child. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Are we? Well, we'll discuss it later how we're going to approach it because I just got excited to play some more New Horizons. But I do imagine in some way, either video or just showing us on your own.
I could show you more, and I can also I could fucking bring over New Leaf. That's for the Wii, and I also have Wild World and City Folks, which is I lied. New Leaf is on the Nintendo DS. I have City Folks for the Wii. I could in theory, bring it over during the week if you want to see it, or I'll pull up some clips. I don't know if I have the original Animal Crossing for the GameCube one, but that's a whole different experience that I wish obviously the game takes too much time, but I wish I had time to show you guys because that game was insane. The fucking villagers, if they were rude villagers, they were rude. They'd be like, "What's up, ugly ass bitch? Ain't seen you in 3 days."
Mariah, I'm so excited. I feel like your band teacher bringing in the rolling TV to watch some.
Yeah, maybe if we have time next week. Obviously, we won't have time to fully deep dive in the game, but I can start up each game and kind of show you guys some things that are different, like how the houses are different or how the pixelations suck in the first game.
Yeah, maybe we
And I can just
talk
kind
about
of-
our fun stories of maybe different
Yeah.
things in your life when you were playing.
And I can show you guys because each game has a different concept, I guess, in theory. It's the same game, but they all have different concepts. I could show you guys kind of what they each look like.
I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, man. Well,
All right, guys. Bye.
talk to you next week.
See
Like,
ya.
subscribe. Like, subscribe.
Subscribe.